Hey, Dr. Abby Medcalf here, and today's connection quickie is all about how to best protect your children if you're going through a separation or a divorce. So, this is obviously a really important topic, and I don't want to. This can't be so quick, but it can be a little quick. So, I'm going to give you the top three issues that you need to think about if you are contemplating separation or you're going through divorce or anything like that, that it will affect your children. This is all from the research. So here's the top three. So, number one way to protect your kids, it really relates to the level of conflict between you and your spouse before, during, and after the separation or divorce. So when that conflict is high, this is the number one thing that affects kids. Just to be clear, I'm going to give you three, the top three, but this is number one above it all. Is if the level of conflict is, if there's a lot of hostility, a lot of negativity, resentment, anger, backbiting, fighting back and forth, that's the thing that affects your kids the most. There's nothing close. So what I find is that sometimes people think, I worked with a couple recently, a woman recently whose husband, who was the primary caregiver, they were separating, but he was very angry at her, so enraged and wanted to take her to the cleaners. He said this out loud and was not providing the kind of money she wanted for the children to stay in the schools they were in. She couldn't afford to live in the school district they were at anymore, that kind of thing. And he was willing to move. He didn't care. And there was a whole thing where, sadly, he was willing to hurt the children to get back at her. And that does happen, that kids are a pawn. But so she, understandably really upset. And I have to keep the kids in the school and they need their lives not to change. And this isn't okay. And I said to her, it's a big problem. And it was already dragging out. Don't get me wrong. I was meeting her about 7 months into this heinous, acrimonious, horrible thing. And I said, this is affecting your kids more than changing schools would. This constant battle, that all the tension you're under, all the anger you have, all the resentment, the way you're talking, the way you're living, how unsure you are of yourself, how scared you are, all that fear. They're already scared. Their parents are divorcing. Now their primary person, because she has primary custody. Their primary person is acting scared too. They're terrified. They need to know you are strong, you are fine, this is all going to work out, that you're not upset or so upset. They need to see you captain this ship. And so we really talked about, what is she hanging on so tightly to? And there's enough money that they can live, okay, just not in the lifestyle that they were before. And, just to get the kids settled and move things along was the most important thing. And for her to not be in this level of hostility and conflict, she can't control her ex, but she can control her. And that's what I say to any of you listening who have an ex who's making you nuts. They can't make you anything, actually. You're making you nuts. They can act horribly and just be so difficult. And it's really sad when people are hurting you and hurting the children to hurt you. There's nothing to me worse than that. And I can't control them, and neither can you. So, you get the best of lawyers you can, you do everything you can that way. But other than that, you have to let things go. You're going to have to move on because you can't stay in this level of hostility, anger, and negativity and expect your kids to be okay. That's going to affect them. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, the second protective factor is the relationship each parent has with each child prior to the separation or divorce. So the stronger that is, the better. And as you can imagine, it makes sense, but it's one of the factors. So you can't, again, in any way control your ex's relationship with your children, other than allowing that to happen as best you can in the healthiest way you can. I mean, not trying to block it or decide that they're not doing it right or something. As long as your kids are okay and as healthy as possible, you want to obviously facilitate that, and again, keep the level of conflict down. So, but your ex might be kind of, again, trying to hurt you by hurting the kids, or this bad stuff might be happening. So it might not happen that they have a good relationship with the kids, or they might have had no relationship with the kids prior. Maybe they were working full time and they were gone all the time. And again, you've been the primary person, maybe. Whatever it is, it's really important to look at that level of connection that you have with each child, no matter how many kids you have. And if you can encourage your ex to do the same, or share this video with them, let encourage by sharing the video and having them hear it, because it would be great for both of you to be working on this relationship, and not in competition with each other, not trying to be the better parent or the winner. There's no winners here, but to instead, have both of you have a close relationship. Okay, that's number 2. And the third protective factor to help your kids get through a divorce or separation is to make sure that you're prioritizing the kids. Yeah, seems obvious, but people don't. So putting the children first. Kids know when they're first. They are very clear. Putting them first does not mean buying them everything they want or feeling guilty about the divorce so you spoil them with trips or any of this other stuff. I'm talking about their actual needs, not their wants. So I know. And so really thinking of their needs, and their needs are to feel safe, to feel secure. Those are and to feel loved. Well, that's part of that, right? To feel unconditionally accepted. Those are their needs. And so the best that you can help them have those things, that's you doing a great job as a parent. So those are your top 3 protective factors to, best get your kids through a divorce or separation without them needing any any kind of super negative repercussions later. It is possible to get through it, and it is possible to get through it well. That's it for today. I'm Dr. Abby Medcalf. I help people create lasting change in their relationships, even if their partner, kids, boss, anybody else won't do a thing. You can find me at abbymedcalf.com. I really encourage you to check out the podcast. And if you haven't yet, please, 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 please subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have more subscribers here and have more reach and help more people. Have a great day, everybody.